Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Women Are Worthy Network. Listen, y'all. Okay, you know I put my business out there, right? So, first of all, let me say happy Motivational Monday. I am feeling so good. I had self care Sunday. I had a massage today. I just
Oh,
feel so wonderful because my energy was really low. But I want to put my business out here. This phenomenal guest, I'm going to get introduce her in a minute, but y'all need to know what's going on. So this fabulous guest, well, she's practically family, so she's no longer a guest. She's part of the family.
yes.
So we are in alignment. She's doing fabulous and wonderful things. And I'm like, wait a minute, we gotta get you on the show. We gotta get you on the show. Because when I say her stock has gone up, from knowing her and the things that she's doing. So invited her to the show. We scheduled the show, canceled. I think one was electricity issue or AC
Yeah.
issue or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were scheduled, canceled. So today I'm sitting, I'm early, relaxing, drinking my pineapple and watermelon juice and just chilling with my Ruby Roo lipstick, just chilling, chilling like a villain. Can't find my charger. I said, Lord, we are going to do this show because this woman is fabulous, three times a charm. So, like I said, I just wanted to give you a little backstory about this. So I'm extra hyper right now. So we have the fabulous Shardae Orr. She's an author of a devotional title, The Plug, Purposeful Living Unto God. She's also the founder of Saved Girl Secrets. Y'all know how I am when it comes to women who are empowering young ladies, because y'all know I was empowered by a wonderful mentor. So I love when I see my melanin women who are just doing it. When I say she doing it, y'all, she doing it, okay? I got to give my queens their roses. Now, by the time I keep talking about her, the show's going to end. So let's
Yeah.
continue. So she also has a podcast online, community encouraging women to develop deep relationships with God, rooted in truth, transparency, and transformation. So we want to welcome Miss Shardae Orr to the Women Are Worthy Network channel. Girl,
Thank
welcome.
you. I love this welcome. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy we made it. I'm happy that we made it.
The Lord is good. He is good. So, I want to talk about the wonderful things that you're doing in the world today. But I want to know first, who is Shardae Orr? Who is she?
What a loaded question that is. The way that you introduced me, I need you to just follow me around, just introducing me, because that was amazing. But Shardae Orr is a person who loves God. She loves people. She loves women. I am a wife, which is amazing. I am a person who's in the marketing industry by trade. But overall, I really just love encouraging women and helping them to understand having a deeper relationship with God for themselves and what that can do for their lives. So that's pretty much who I am in a nutshell, I would say.
And I like that because so often people believe that when they get into the corporate world or certain worlds, if it's a conflict being by with Christ,
Yeah.
and I like the fact that you're a successful woman and you realized who brought you there, who brought you there, who kept you there, which is Christ.
Yeah.
So I'm a believer as well, and I just love the things that you're doing. So the fact what okay, you're in the corporate world. Let's get this going. You're in the corporate world. What made you decide to step out in faith? Because
Hmm.
so often when we're in the corporate world, we're sitting on the fence. Like,
Yeah.
what should we do? How should we do it? So, my question to you is, when did you decide to make that leap?
I would say for me, it was probably around 2014.
Mhm.
I started in radio super young. I would say I started in radio at 6. At 6 years old, I was one of those kids who literally like used a cassette tape and like recorded whole radio shows, recorded songs, loved radio. From a very young age, was like, oh, I'm going to be in radio. And I was literally started interning for a corporate radio corporation my last year of high school, beginning of college, and went to work for them immediately after college. And around 2014, at that point, I had been working there maybe like 6 years. And I realized that I was raised in the church, but I had strayed so far from what my beliefs and my morals and my values were. And I mean, I was clubbing, I was just doing a lot of things that were not in alignment with who I knew I was raised to be. And there was, I know you spoke about loving women and loving empowering and loving mentorship. The person for me, it was this woman, her name is Rhonda, and she literally used to be my dance instructor at church. When I was a kid, I was in praise dance. And I remember her reaching out to me. She was like, "Where you been?" She was like, "You ain't been back to church since you graduated college. What's going on?" And I was like, "Well, I'm just, I'm out here. I'm doing whatever." And she said, "No, you need to come back. Let's, come sit in on a dance rehearsal." And literally sitting in on a dance rehearsal turned into me rejoining the dance ministry at church, which turned into her saying, "Hey, you can't be a part of the dance ministry and not actually come to church on Sundays." And that really was the path for me, really getting back into my relationship with God and fostering and building that for myself. So
why do you think women should support each other?
I think that two things. There is something about being a woman and knowing a woman's struggle that puts you and other women in the same boat. Like, it literally is this situation where sometimes women like to act like we don't all have the same issues, but we do. And it's so crazy because on Save Girl Secrets, which is my podcast, I love talking about issues that women won't admit they have. Like, there are so many issues that we won't just say, like, "Hey, I'm dealing with this," when the woman right beside you is dealing with the same thing. So I think it's so important for women to support women. One, because we're all facing the same struggles. And there's always going to be a season that you're in that somebody else just got out of, or that you're out of that somebody's entering into. And I think that when you allow yourself to support another woman, you give her the advantage to get out of whatever it is that she's in, but you also take the advantage when you are looking up to a woman who's ahead of you, who's come out of the season that you're inside of, whether that's being a wife or being a mom or being in your career, whatever that thing is. Women supporting women is so important because you can learn from other people's mistakes or you can make mistakes. And when given the opportunity, when women are supporting other women, you skip so many steps that you don't have to take because you literally are gleaning from people who've been where it is that you're going. So
That's why it's so important to me that we become very transparent,
mm,
because what people don't understand, and people, you definitely do, when you climb up that corporate ladder, or if you're an entrepreneur and you're successful, we need to start helping other people on, because here's the issue. We got there, but now staying there, that's
yeah,
when you need your tribe. That's when you need your mentors. That's when you need your sister friends, your sister circle. Because as we know, I'm married as well. You're cooking the bacon, frying up in the pan, never letting him forget he's a man. Then, if you have kids, it's just so much that
yeah,
if you have someone who looks like you, or just a woman, period, you can sit down and have a conversation with her and she understands. That's
yeah.
why it's important for us, because I took the S off my chest. Well, women are worthy. I took the W off my chest. I'm no longer invincible.
Wow.
If I feel like crying, I was having some bad days a couple of days ago, because when people see you as strong, they
Yeah,
don't think you have issues. So I try to tell people, I am not as strong as you think I am. I am human. You cut me, I bleed. I may just fake it till you make it, because there's some days you just got to fake it that
that's
you're
true.
happy, you're getting out of bed. People don't want to talk. We don't want to talk about that.
But
There's some
yeah,
days, I'm telling you, this is going to be a session today. I feel it, honey. It's a venting session for me. But we just need to show others, yes, we're
yeah,
professional, we're all of those things. We encompass all of that. But there are days where I literally don't want to get up out of bed because
hmm,
of what's going on in the world today, because of what's going on with friends, family, not even just yourself. So you
yeah,
have to guard your heart, and you hear the horrible things that are going on, and you still got to get up, because, and specifically as Black women, we're supposed to be so strong that
yeah.
I'm not buying into that anymore.
Yeah, I agree. It's so interesting. While you were talking, I was thinking about what you're saying and being in that space where you don't want to get out of bed, where you literally are dealing with things that you don't want to tell other people about, but there's another person who literally has what you need to get you to the next step. And I think that that's amazing. Like, even in a career standpoint, when you feel stuck in your career, I know we just did an episode called Girl, How Much You Make? And we had this deep dive conversation on, as friends and as tribes, like if you're in the same industry as another woman, giving her a ballpark figure. If she asks, like, how much do you make? Like, even in those small things where it's like making sure that your girl, that your tribe, that your community, that they're not being taken advantage of, making sure that they're able to get their coins. Because if we don't talk to each other, there will be so many people who are suppressed and left at a certain level just because we didn't offer the information and because other women feel afraid to ask. And I think, not even from, like you said, just a career standpoint, but what you just said, girl, have you ever felt like you ain't just want to get out of bed? Tell me about that. You know what I mean? Like, being comfortable enough. I love these spaces where you foster community so that women feel safe, being transparent.
And foster relationships. Because here's the thing. We're groomed to, we got to look perfect. We have to wear the lipstick. We have to wear, the nails. We have to do the hair. But there's some days you want to be around your tribe like, look, I ain't got no makeup on. But you want your same tribe to tell you like, girl, you got something in your eye. You got to, because you'll be walking around like, you mean to tell me I had spinach in my teeth and you didn't say anything?
Nothing.
These pearly
whites in people's face. Just say,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? These pearly whites can't have that stuff in her teeth. You got to let me know. So we have to be able to be so transparent as women to say we need help. And it's okay to come to us and for us to not have attitudes. Because there are days where you literally don't look like the person you look like, whether on television, whether it's on social media, that you decide not to put that all in. And you just woke up, washed your face, brushed your teeth, and you're like, woo, where those crow's feet or where them dark circles came from. But you want to be around your friends who they can see it and they don't judge you. You know what you feel me? So
yes, exactly.
We got, and then when you got man problems, oh, that's another show. That is another show, baby girl. Woo!
You are speaking. You are talking today. You are really talking for real.
Look, I'm so hyper. That massage did something for me that I feel like I'm more transparent because it seems like when she was massaging those knots out, more things came out. But I want women to be careful because I hear most women don't want to tell other women about their relationships because they're in fear of their friends getting their man or whatever the case may be. And I don't look at things like that because if it's meant for me, it's meant for me. And if he decides that he wants to go with her and she wants my sloppy seconds, third or fourth or fifth, that's on her. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We do have women that really love each other and love the relationship and meeting people on social media. I want people to understand it works. So let's talk about your nonprofit, what you're doing, what do you want to do with it? Come on, baby girl. This is your show. This is your show.
Sure. So right now, I have a group of friends that do Save Girl Secrets with me, and really, we actually there's two things that I'm working on right now. Of course, there's the Save Girl Secrets women's empowerment space where we are cultivating community for women to be truthful and be able to be transparent in a space that allows them to transform to who God really created them to be. And so we do things like host events. We give people the forum to kind of tell their stories. We invite women to send us secret letters and we literally help them one-on-one personally. A lot of these women are people who are going through situations, like you said, relationship-wise, where they feel like they can't share with their friends. They feel like they will be judged. And we create that safe space where there is no judgment. It's a judgment-free zone. So that's one space. On the other end, I am in the process of starting up a nonprofit. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I have a disease called polycystic kidney disease, and it's a hereditary disease. I have it. My dad's had it. It's something that literally my dad and like 6 of his siblings have had, which typically leads to getting a kidney transplant. And throughout the process, one of the things that I've realized is there are so many women who may look like me who don't have a community for that. Right. And I remember being diagnosed, going to the transplant center the first time, going to doctor's appointments and literally being in rooms where there is not one person who looks like me.
Right.
There is no one who is in their 30s. There is no one who's an African-American woman sitting in those rooms. And I said, oh my God, like, are there no other women who look like me who are dealing with the same issues that I'm dealing with? And I remember sharing on social media, which of course is something I also do in terms of what I call faith fluencing. And in my social media space, I began to meet so many women who are like, oh my God, you know, I'm going through something very similar. And so carving out a space for them, which ultimately I want to be able to provide not only counseling, but also monetary assistance, because we're not going to get into the healthcare system tonight. We're not. But what I am going to say is, if you are not completely lower class and in a state of poverty, it's very difficult for you to get to a space where you can afford medical bills and things like that. And I realize that there are people who look like me, who may not be married, who may be living paycheck to paycheck, and they don't have the room for an additional bill. And I want to make sure that there is a space for women who look like me to come to, so that they can get the care and the assistance and all of those things that they need.
Similar to like a St. Jude's kind of a thing.
Yeah,
right? Girl,
definitely.
I'm feeling you. I'm telling you. We in alignment. So did you receive your kidney transplant? Yeah.
So right now I'm on the kidney transplant waiting list. I have not been transplanted yet. I'm actually doing really, really good. I know you were talking about living a plant-based life. That's pretty much where I am. Doing my best to keep as much kidney function
Did
as
you
I
just
can.
say you live in a plant-based lifestyle? Is that what you just said?
I am, and it's hard. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
It's hard, but my doctors are literally like, oh my God, we can't believe, you know, what my numbers look like as I'm coming in recently.
Wait a minute. I can't let you. No. I can't just let you skip over that, because you just said it was hard. And now, would you say because of your plant-based lifestyle, your numbers are looking better? Wait. Don't let me speak. I want to hear you say it, because I'm going to record this. Okay. So please go ahead.
Yes. Full transparency, because that's what I'm about. I'm about transparency. When I got diagnosed at the end of 2019, when we went into 2020, into 2021, during like peak COVID pandemic time, my kidney function dropped by 10% in a matter of 6 months.
Wow.
And my doctor was like, I don't know what to do. He was like, we need to get you a transplant immediately. I've never seen someone lose function, this much function in this amount of time, who's your age, who's your BMI, who's your, all of these things where it's like you are like a typical healthy person, but your function is declining very rapidly. And at the top of this year, I started going to the transplant center. But I also started at the end of last year a plant-based lifestyle. And I said, you know what? I don't like this celery, but I'm gonna eat it. I miss chicken wings, but I'm gonna leave them alone. You know, I am going to do my best to literally put things into my body that don't have parents, things into my body that are raw, things that are plant-based. And yeah, I may slip up every now and then, but for the most part, my intention is to eat things that I know where they came from. They're growing from the earth, and as little processing as possible. And, you know, I went back into my doctor after I'd been added to the transplant list, and they called me back and they said, hey, you're on the list, but you're inactive because your function has gone up. And my doctor literally was like, I don't see this. He was like, we don't see this type of thing happening. You know, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not being stressed. I'm keeping my blood pressure down. I'm eating plants. That is what I am doing. And it's drastically changed my life, my quality of life, and just the way that my body feels. And I'm giving myself time. I am prolonging something that doctors were trying to say was indefinite. Like they were saying I would have been being transplanted in August based on my report in December. So I am definitely here for plant-based lifestyle.
Welcome, my sister. Welcome to our family. That's the second family you were part of. And again, I want to put this out there because, I do holistic stuff and,
Hmm.
juicing and the plant based cooking. And for those, it's on my, YouTube channel. This YouTube channel is called Chopping It Up with Jackie, and
Nice.
then I also have Juicing with Jackie. So the whole point is, that I want people to understand. And I'll say this until no pun intended, the cows come home. It's not the cow, the chicken, the pork, the fish. It's what they're feeding them. It's the
Mhm.
toxicity and the toxins that are going in the oceans that the fish are eating. So and then, they did a study, I think it was Nightline that did something. They caught some fishes and they wanted to know why did the fish, now figure this, diabetes, okay? Fishes, what people were doing were throwing away their diabetic medications into the ocean. It was a whole big thing they did like 6 years ago, and I'm going to find the tape and I'm going to play it during one of my shows. It was ridiculous,
And the
right?
fish had diabetes.
That's what they said. That's what they said. Was it the
Wow.
diabetes? That's what they said. So I'm like, we talk. Do you ever watch the show Game Changers?
I think I have caught that once.
That's the one with
It's
Arnold
okay.
Schwarzenegger.
Ah, yes, yes, yes,
Yes.
I
And you
have.
saw the one with the athletes, how they took their blood pressure, took their blood
Mm,
if they ate meat and took the blood for the ones who were plant-based, and you
yes,
saw the difference in the
completely different.
lipids and stuff like that. So, again, I just want people to optimize their life because
Yeah,
we only have one life. We have COVID, now we have, monkey, we have all these things
monkeypox.
coming. Right, girl, please. So, sorry, I wasn't laughing at that it's funny. I'm just saying there's just so many
It's just
things.
one
So
thing
why
after
not?
the other.
Thank you. So why not try it? You have a lot of people that knock it, but try
Mhm.
it. Cardiologists now are telling their patients try plant-based lifestyle.
Yeah.
Just try it. Have a meatless Monday. But I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Shardae. I'm freaking digging you. I could just hug you right now. I'm freaking digging you. You are such a breath of fresh air. I can see your light shining, and I should have
Wow.
known it has something to do with plant-based, but I didn't know. But I see it, and you are beautiful. You're a representation of what I like to see when I see my younger girls, younger women out
Wow.
there. You are definitely, I'm telling you, doing the damn thing, pardon my expression, but you're doing
I
the
love
damn thing,
that.
so don't let anyone steal your light. Continue to
Mm,
let your light shine. You're going to have bad days. We're all going to have those days where I don't want to get up out of bed because there's so
yeah.
much coming at us, so much. But we
Mm,
have to find the light at the end of the tunnel, because when you drive, the tunnel is dark, but just know that there's going to, when God said, let there be light, there will be light. So I have
right.
to remind myself that sometimes too, that because like again, I was having not a great week, but it turned out better and better and better. And just being positive. Sometimes you just
Yeah.
gotta be positive.
Right. Yeah, I think sometimes, especially when you talk about waking up on the wrong side of the bed, there are moments where I literally begin to just run down a list of things that I can be thankful for. And when I can't
Yes,
find nothing, it's like, thank you, God, that I can breathe. Thank you that I have mobility of my limbs. Thank you for this, for that, and the third. I think that there's so many things that we take for granted. In the
yes.
little moments, it's like, what can I be grateful for right now, like right in this moment, can I be grateful for? So yes, that is great.
And that's true, because like I wake up, I'm like, I can breathe. I can actually walk. My car has gas. No, gas is
Ooh,
out of this world, and I can
and
drive
that's a big
wherever I
thing.
want to drive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then there's days I turn around and I want to stab my husband with a fork. Okay. There are days
That's marriage. That's what I've learned.
oh, Lord have
Marriage
mercy.
is I love you and you're the only person who can take me to the edge, to the point where I just want to wring your neck, but I love you. It's out of love. I mean, it's like you have to love someone a lot to the point where they can affect your emotions in that way. Because if they don't affect your emotions at all, then do you really love them? Is the
And
question.
that's true, because like especially if you have best friends and stuff like
Mhm.
that, because your best friends know your secret. And they know how
Mm.
to get at you too.
Yes.
So like you said, people that you love will do things to you, for you, and with you.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with that. So since I asked why should women support each other, my next question to you is, what can we do? Because we had the Me Too movement. We
Mhm.
somehow, I don't see it changing as I would like it to, and I know I need to be patient, but it
Yeah.
doesn't seem like we're where we should be compared to our counterparts.
Mm.
Was that a loaded question? Was that a 3-day question?
I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I
I
feel like I definitely agree in that space where it's kind of like we should be further along. I definitely agree with that. I feel like one of the things that not necessarily holds us back, that adds another layer of challenge, is it's not only fighting from a stance of womanhood, but also fighting from a place of being a Black woman on top of that. So it's like I'm not just fighting about patriarchy, but now I'm also fighting racism on top of that. So it's almost like our starting point is so much further behind our counterparts. We're not starting at, I'm a woman and I want the same rights as a man. I want to be able to be respected. I want to be able to be paid the same amount. I want to be able to be heard. I want to have the same amount of power and authority and all of those things as a male. But it's like, oh no, I also want to have just as much equality as a person of a different race. Because it's like, okay, so instead of starting 10 yards behind as a woman, it's like, no, I'm 20 yards behind because I also have the Black part too. And I think that that's something that we run into so many times. It's like, oh, it's not just this, it's also that I'm Black. You know what I mean? It's not just that I'm a woman, it's also that I'm a Black woman. It's not that I'm a marketer, but I'm also a Black marketer. It's not that I'm an influencer, I'm also a Black
Like
influencer.
influencer, yeah.
So, and I mean, there's so much disparity between the two in so many areas. And so I think that is something that we definitely have to work on. I think the one thing for me that I'm working on is consistently showing up in different spaces fully as myself. So whether that's influencing and someone reaches out to me about a pitch and, I have the autonomy to go to a counterpart or to go to, I have a really good friend who's a guy who's an influencer. And I remember him reaching out to me and he's like, how much, did they offer you for, such and such pitch? And when I told him and he told me what was happening on his side, it was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? But that's where that transparency comes in. That's where that women supporting women comes in. We need to make sure that we are in communities where we're having conversations to, make that equity gap smaller, if that makes any sense. Did I answer the question at all?
No. You answered the question, because here's the thing. We allow corporate America or entities to kind of put fear in other people, where you can't talk about salaries. If you're working on the job, you can't talk. Look, I don't listen to that foolishness, okay? Because here's the thing. We have, as you said, we have to make sure that everyone's being paid across the board. For
Right.
me, I wouldn't say I'm aggressive, because that has a negative connotation. But what I am going to say about myself, I don't settle. And if you're going to give this man this money and I find out, and when I'm sitting at the bargaining table, I want at least $1 more.
Right.
Okay. And I've done that, and I've had that done, because I'm not going to, my talents, I know my worth. I tell people, when people say, what you bringing to the table? I'm like, damn, I am the table. Okay. So what you talking about bringing the table? I am the table. Now, if you want to put a plate or saucer on my table, I don't have a problem, because we all can eat. What we need to know as women is, this is what I say about this. You have a cake, and then a lot of people like to cut the cake down the middle. I don't think we should cut the cake down the middle, because what happens is, when you give that person half of the cake, they eat it because they're so hungry and so thirsty. They eat the cake quickly, then they want to eat your cake. So what you do is, you get the cake, you cut one slice after one slice, you eat, and because when you do it that way, it's much better than, because some people are just greedy. Some people are just like, okay, I want to eat mine and I want to eat yours as well.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at it. You get the cake and you cut the slices, and then you're rationing it
You
out.
ration it out. I love that.
Girl, I got a little I'm telling you, that massage is bringing little world's pearls of wisdom, baby.
I love that. I so love that.
So that's how I look at it. And we should not be afraid, because I have this thing that I do with my mentees, girls and young girls and young guys, that when you see a woman, I want you to pay a compliment to at least 2 or 3 women a day. But it can't be women that you know. It has to be, if you're in a restaurant or whatever, you're walking, you look at a woman and you're like, oh my God, your teeth, oh my God, your hair, oh my God, your feet, or your shoes, your whatever it is. And girl, you are working it. When you go to a restaurant, do that, because that may be the only compliment that that woman has received, because some people don't know what love is.
Wow.
Or they were loved and they were, they were scorned, and they're just walking around nasty or upset. So at least give, any woman, it doesn't just have to be Black woman, but a woman, pay her a compliment. And I don't mean when you see a woman looking tall from the floor up to say, girl, I like what you got on.
Right. Don't lie about it. Don't lie about it.
Girl, like they say, babies are not ugly. Okay. But that's another story. But anywho, I just think that we need to do that. We need to keep giving our sister our roses. But while we're doing that, here's the thing. We can't forget about our men, because everything is women, 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 women. What about our Black men? We got to give our kings their props too,
Definitely. I completely agree with that. For sure.
Wow. I didn't know I was going on a tangent today.
It's been a good one. I'm enjoying it, me, myself.
It's just, so what do you want to see? Where do you want to see your foundation, and where can we see you 5 years from now? Where do you expect to see yourself?
I want to see my foundation literally helping women who look like me pay medical bills that they cannot afford, especially women who are middle class, because that's what I realized in this space, who are affected. People who can't get Medicare, who can't get Medicaid, people who have jobs, but they don't have that, what's the word that I'm looking for, that disposable income to afford different medical bills that come. And I mean, to put things in perspective, I mean, I don't care if I'm putting myself out there, to put things into perspective, when it comes to health insurance, for instance, health insurance covers certain things a certain amount of times a year, a lot of times. So like when you think about your dental health care, they cover 2 cleanings a year, because they're like, you need to get your teeth cleaned at least 2 times a year. Outside of that, it would be out of pocket. So similarly, in the healthcare space or in the medical space, there may be certain workups or like blood work that are standard for your insurance that they're going to pay for throughout the year. But when you have, a disease or something of that instance, like what I have, you are going for blood work every 3 to 4 weeks. So that means that where you would get it done maybe 4 times a year, you're getting it 8, you're getting it 12. So all of those other times are out of pocket. And so I realized that even though I may be in a space where I'm married and I can afford those things, there are women who literally work good jobs, who are paying all of their bills, who cannot afford that. And so I definitely see myself in 5 years being able to literally provide mental and emotional support for people who are diagnosed with this type of disease, but also monetary contributions and things like that to people who need that type of support. So that's one space. I also see myself in a space with entertainment where I am creating something that tells stories. I'm not exactly sure where that is. I'm going to have to come back and look at this 5 years from now and see if I'm there. But I believe that I'm definitely called to the space of entertainment, which I've been in for years and years and years, but to do something with it that honors my faith and that honors stories of women with faith. So,
well, you can start with your affirmations and your vision boards, start working. And I'm sure you're probably doing that, because I am a firm believer in vision boards. I'm a firm believer in speaking things into fruition, because I'm so bad that ain't nothing I touch is not going to grow or shine. Okay.
Yeah.
So I do believe that, and you have those qualities, and once your intentions are out there, it will come. So, and it's so good to see, because everybody wants to be in front of the camera. The real money and the real power is behind the camera.
The producing, the
right?
directing.
Yep. And that's one of the things that, my girls and I, my friends, we're working on some things that we want to do, produce content, because I'm fabulous in front of the camera, but I'm even way more fabulous behind the camera.
That's
so awesome. That's what we're looking to do. And women should not be afraid to talk about, people call it bragging. It's not bragging. It's not bragging if you know what you're doing. What people need to see is this is what I do, and I love what I do, you know. So I just want you to know, and I'm going to keep praying for you because I just love your freaking light. You just
Aw,
have this light about you that's phenomenal.
thank
So,
you.
you know, and when you mentioned the entertainment, that's going to happen, just be ready. Preparation and opportunity. Once they
Yeah,
meet, you just got to,
you
keep
gotta be
going.
ready.
Got to be ready because I'm like, oh my God. But, because I'm telling you, I go through a lot before the show and I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But then,
But see, that's the signal. I feel like, you know, and for me, when it comes to my faith, I feel like anytime, the word of God in James, I believe it's 1 and 2, it says, be grateful, like get excited when you face many trials of different kinds, like that those trials produce a maturity in you for where you're going. So it's kind of like if you're not facing any trials, if you're not being matured, then it means that you're staying stagnant. Like anytime there's something coming like that, it means that you are destined for something great. That
oh,
whatever
yeah,
it is about to blow your mind because there's so much pressure when it comes to it. And there's only pressure when you're birthing something great.
that's
There's
true.
only contractions when you are birthing something great. So I would get excited.
Okay,
That's
for a
that's
minute.
a nice inclination. Issues are an inclination that there is something on the other side for you.
And because of the space that I'm in, I'm all about positivity. I'm
Mm,
allergic to negativity. Um, I just want people to see at the end of the day that they are worthy. That's hence we have, the women are worthy or women are worthy.
yeah.
But everyone has the opportunity to live in a space that they need to live. You were talking earlier, and I wanted to mention when you were talking about people who work, there's a terminology we have because I used to do things in healthcare. And it's called the
Mhm.
working poor, where
Mm,
you're working, you're not middle class, but you can't qualify for this, you can't qualify for that, but you're working poor. And hopefully, not hopefully, it will happen that when you start your organization, we will have those because now we're producing billionaires, okay,
yeah.
that to give back. We have people like the St. Jude's. How are they funding? You mean
Wow.
to tell me your child is sick? Doesn't matter what it is. Cancer is so expensive. The treatments, definitely cheaper than a kidney transplant. And depends on what kind of cancer you have. And you're telling me that these kids can go to the hospital. The parents don't have to worry about anything. So why can't we have that also in our community? But we're going to have that because you're creating it. You're giving birth to it. You're 9 months pregnant with it right now,
Yes.
and you're going to be giving birth to it. So for that, I honor you for doing what you're doing.
Wow. I appreciate that. That was heartfelt. I appreciate that so much. That means a lot to me. That means a lot to me.
Like I said, I'm part of your tribe, and anything that we can do to support what you're doing. How can people reach out to you? Let's say, Magic Johnson, Rihanna's watching, and you're like, we like this Shardae. How can people reach out and get in contact with you and things? I'm gonna market the crap out of this show
Yes,
because I want people to
please,
follow you.
please,
Yes. Mhm.
please. If you are interested in connecting with me in any type of way, you definitely can email me at Shardae or SHARDAEORR at gmail.com. I respond relatively quickly, so you can reach out to me there. You can also connect with me on social media. I am very, very active there. I am
She
Shardae.
is. She is.
I am Shardae Orr on Instagram as well as on Facebook. So if you want to reach out to me there, you can do so as well. I would love to connect with you guys.
I'm putting your handle out now.
Awesome. And then, of course, my podcast, Save Girl Secrets, you can tune into that wherever podcasts are found. So, of course, your Google Play, your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, all of those things. Check it out, tune in, and we would love to connect with you.
So finally, my question to you would be if a movie was being made of your life, who would you like who's just to be the star in the movie? That's one.
Mm-hmm,
And what would the title of the movie be? And the soundtrack.
mm-hmm.
Ah,
Ooh,
gotcha.
that's
Thank
a
you.
lot. Okay, okay. If there was a movie about my life, I actually would want Taraji P. Henson to play me. Is that weird?
No, no, I can see
Okay,
it.
because
I can see it.
Taraji P. Henson is from the DMV. I'm from the DMV, so she would have the accent, the real accent down pat. So I would love that. She has a lot of spunk about her, but I feel like she also has a light too. She has a very, interesting backstory. So definitely Taraji P. Henson, I would want to play me. I think the movie about my life would be called You Won't Find Me Where You Left Me. I
Oh,
think
I like
a good
that.
title. You won't find me where you left me, because I feel like in so many seasons of my life, I've met people and I've moved on to the next level of my life. And I think sometimes people circle the block and expect you to be exactly where you were when they left you, but you're not.
Mhm.
So I think that would be the title. And then the soundtrack, I don't know. I don't know. I'm from the DMV, so in my mind, I would want Black Alley to do my soundtrack. It would be
Okay.
a half go-go, half R&B soundtrack, I think.
Okay. Who's your favorite artist? Living
Jill
or dead?
Scott.
Jill
Interesting.
Scott.
Jill
Okay.
Scott is my favorite artist. Love her, even though she hasn't put out an album in years. Love Jill Scott.
Wow.
Love Neon.
What are you reading right now?
What am I? I'm actually reading Fervent for probably the fourth time, which I love. I honestly feel like I read that book every time, similar to what you were saying when you hopped on, when you just feel like the world is kind of like,
Mhm.
you're taking on like all of the energy of the world, and it's like I need to get back to myself. I need to get to like a centered space. So I am reading that again for the fourth time. Yeah.
What I'm reading now is again the Four Agreements.
Wow.
Reading that, going back to that again, and the 48 Laws of Power. 48 Laws of
Love
Power.
that.
Right. Now I have the other one by 50 cents because it's 50. So
Hmm.
50, yeah,
I
50
didn't know
cents
that he
means,
had one.
babe, yeah, what happened was um the author of 48 met
Hmm.
with 50, and 50 added two more to it. So it's just two more things and
Wow.
moved into it. And 50 said in order for him to be as successful as he is, that's what he read. He was reading that, and when you read it, it's just so tactical and, things like that. So, but for me, I'm going back to the Four Agreements because it centers me. I'm
Hmm.
going back to, you know, before I say what I'm going back to, here's another question. What do you do for self care?
For self care, I am very much a do nothing type of person for self care, which isn't good because is that not self care? I don't know, but I'm always ripping and running so much. Pre-COVID, a lot of my job was travel. So for me, just sitting still, even if it's watching a documentary, and I love like when I have time by myself to just lay in bed and watch a documentary or let the documentary watch me. I think that's a form of self-care for me. I love getting like pedicures and just having my earphones in. That's something I do for self-care. And then taking baths with candles. Love that. So
Well,
those
it's good to see that you're doing self care because I'm always telling my ladies self care.
yeah.
Make sure you do what I call mine. I call it like a soothing Saturday, self care Sunday.
Mm.
Things like that. We just have to just take that time because of what's going on in the world today. It's so busy. When you pick
Mhm.
up the phone, someone's calling you with
Something.
something, and then there's someone else who needs something from you, and then your husband and yourself and the kids, and you're like, wait a minute, what about me? So the kids out the house, just me and the husband, and I'm living my best life, and I'm
I
learning
love
to
that
say
for you.
no. I'm learning to say no. If it doesn't feed me,
Mhm.
finance me, I'm not doing it. And feed me means spiritually praying for me,
Nice.
supporting me. Financing just doesn't mean money, it's other things because, again, I'm now going back to prior to COVID. Everyone was talking about it. I would hang out. I had an eating club. We would eat Vietnamese food, or
Wow.
Asian food. I would go out to comedy clubs. Don't do that. And so now, this Friday, I'm going back to pre-COVID days. So I'm going
Yeah.
to my first comedy. We're gonna meet the girl from Insecure, Yvonne. She's doing something in Atlanta, so I'm gonna go watch her and going
Mhm.
to the beach or just getting an Airbnb and being by myself. Because, like I tell the husband, sometimes I just need me. Because you
Yeah.
can get all consumed into them that you need to have your individuality. So and I love me. I don't have to be around a lot of people because I'm around a lot of people a lot. I'm an
Mhm.
introvert, extrovert, I tell people. So I just want people just to take the time just to find themselves, whether they're reading the Bible, reading a book, or watching mindless television, the Housewives of Atlanta or some
That's good
meaningless.
self-care. You don't think it is, but it's like when you aren't exerting your energy and your effort and pouring into someone and you can just be, that is a form of self-care.
Man, can I tell you? So today, and that's what I did. I was driving and I just stopped at a place and I'm like, let me try this place out because I couldn't get a hold of my regular guy. And I'm like,
Mhm.
it was so soothing. We didn't understand each other because she just opened up the shop, but I got a good vibe from her. Didn't understand. She had to get on her iPhone, so she's speaking Chinese, showing me the phone. I'm speaking to her in English. It's translating back to Chinese, and that's how we were talking.
Nice.
We were using the phones to talk to each other, so, and she just did a phenomenal job. I'm telling you, she took the weight of the world off of me. So I want to again thank you, Shardae Orr. When I tell you, I'm so glad I finally got to have you on the show. We're going to have you on the show again,
Yes,
you
I'm
know.
honored. Thank you so much for having me.
Definitely. And I love the fact that you're faith-based as well, that you're a believer and you're out there. And this show was soothing to my soul tonight. And I
Wow.
needed that soothing. It topped the night off, just soothing to my soul. So I want to thank you for allowing me to share space with you on this platform. And we want to remind everyone, please like, share, comment,
Yes.
subscribe to the channel, and also make sure you go and I'm going to put her social media again on Instagram. Just make sure you follow her as well.
Mhm.
Share, because at the end of the day, what we're supposed to do, we're spiritual people living in a human world.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not the other way around. So I want everyone to support. Let's start supporting women and men who are doing positive things. When the shenanigans are out there, it goes viral. Those shenanigans go viral. I challenge you to make sure the things that are purposeful are going viral as well. Ooh, I
Yes,
feel like I'm
so
doing a
good.
sermon right now. Dear
That's so good.
Lord. So again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to the Women Are Worthy Network. Tune in
Yes.
tomorrow. We're going to have an amazing show. My sister, I love you. And
I love you too. Thank you so much for having me. Your spirit is amazing. I so appreciated this.
and loving your braids, loving your smile, and again, your makeup is on fleek. I gotta get that. Is that lip gloss that you're using? Is that
It
lip gloss?
is. It's actually Fenty. It's Rihanna's brand of
Here
lip
we
gloss.
go. Is it one of the glow
I think
ones?
so. Yeah, with the little glitter in it. Yes,
Yeah.
and I love it. This is like
Yeah.
my favorite.
Well, let me tell you something. Is it Maybelline? One of the other store, because I have her Fenty stuff, the
Mhm.
glow. I have the orange and I think the beige. If you go like to Walmart or one of those places, there's a store that there's a brand that did a dupe
Ooh,
with her stuff, and it's the same exact. I think it's when I
wow.
go home, I'll let you know. I don't know if it's
Yes, give
Maybelline or
me
what.
the
I'll
deets.
send it to you because I love her stuff. But then someone told me about it, and I'm like, and it's the same gloss. Now we always gonna support Rihanna,
We
but I'm
are.
just
I
saying,
got one.
yes, look, Wakanda forever. I'm
Yes,
supporting Riri, but I'll text it to you when I get home.
yes. I mean, she's a billionaire now, so I mean,
Yeah.
I think she's fine. She's fine.
Yes, yes. So I'll send it to you because I tried all of them, and yeah, same
Wow.
gloss, same everything, same consistency. Yeah.
I can't wait to get that.
I'm gonna text it to you as soon as I get home. So we want everyone to have a
Mhm.
motivational Monday, terrific Tuesday, wonderful Wednesday, turnaround Thursday, fabulous Friday, soothing Saturday, self-care Sunday. So with that, have a great day. Bye
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye bye.